time, like old times. Look, now I'll start the melody on the organ.
Oldie but a goodie.
That's just plain poppycock. Poppycock.
That's very nice, thank you.
Nine a winner. Pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4-4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, scraps, wants 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 4. Ace, deuce, scrap, wants 4. Scrap, wants 4. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, John.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand.
Hello, everybody.
Bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back.
9 a winner.
I hope you're all having a good day, because
Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
we just got
The hard way.
kind of some interesting
Grab a shooter and a good one.
news earlier. Sorry, I'm just moving some stuff around. That they released a teaser photo from the Legend of Zelda live-action movie, and I am not entirely thrilled with it. But no, I'm not one of those people that's like, you know, throwing a fit or anything over what this movie's gonna be. You know, I mean, it's a video game movie, and we're hoping that, you know, with the Mario movie having been so good, at least in my opinion, it was really good, that the Legend of Zelda one, even though it's a live action, that it winds up being, you know, having the same kind of production value, having the same kind of love behind it. But honestly, like, I posted this on Blue Sky, the actors are like pretty, at least the actors for Link and Zelda are like relatively new. And they seem fine. They seem like they fit the role. That's fine. The costumes look good. Everything, you know, the costume design looks good. it's just a terrible picture. It is such an awful picture. Like, I feel kind of bad saying that, but the picture itself just kind of looks like it's out of a fan adaptation. And I think, you know, I heard something about that there were potentially leaks happening and they wanted to jump out in front of the leaks, so maybe it was just like a rushed thing. But man, they could have done, for something like Zelda, releasing a teaser photo with the first look at the actors, they could have done something. Like, they could have put something in the background just to make it look not like somebody went to their backyard and shot this picture. So that, I'm not jumping on like the hate train or the doomer train for this thing. It looks, outside of the fact that the picture itself is just not a good picture, everything else about it seems fine. Like, it seems perfectly, I have no reason to think that anything like that, I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to like really hate on it. It's just, man, it's just not a good picture. It's not a good representation of like the first stages of this movie, I don't think. Anyway, that's my rant on that. I went to the Avatar pre-release for Magic the Gathering the other day, and I cleaned up. Apparently, I am good at not video games. Yeah, sure. Apparently, I am good at card games sometimes. I went 3-0 out of 3 games. With all of my games being 2-0 wins for best 2 out of 3. So I did not lose a single game, which is wild. And the funny thing is, I played a really simple, kind of simple deck. I literally just played like a blue-white tempo deck. You know, I didn't want to like overcomplicate things. That's kind of the big thing with limited, is it's very easy to overcomplicate. And I did draw like, the first rare I got out of like the seeded pack that you get was Azula, who's a blue-black. What does she do? She does something involving your opponent's graveyard, but it's really not. It requires like it's like 2 colorless, blue, and then 2 black. And I had chosen the white pre-release pack, so I got a lot of white staples and stuff. So it's like, it would have basically been being like, okay, I would have to play 3 colors to be able to slot the black in. And with it with having 2 black pips, it's like, that's a little much. And also, she doesn't do a lot. Like, she doesn't do a ton when she hits the board. So what I wound up doing is I wound up just going with a very solid curve of just white blue tempo, just like some really good value removal spells, some good value creatures, and that alone was enough to like carry me through. But I think part of it is, you know, with like all these new mechanics and stuff like that, it's like you really want to like, there's really this temptation to like complicate it. And particularly for me, one of the things I got a ton of lessens, which have their own synergy, but I think it's a synergy that'll work much better in constructed than limited. I think in limited, again, in general, you're trying to kind of keep it a little more simple since you don't have as much like control over what you're actually going to be playing. But yeah, it wound up working out really well. Although, admittedly, I got very lucky with some bombs. I pulled like 3 bombs. One of them was the 3-color Aang, and thankfully there's enough like mana fixing in the set that like you can slot in that 3-color Aang, and I had like, I think 3 lands that, or maybe it was only 2, that could create different color mana, that could mana filter. So it's like, it was like the one card I splashed for, and it worked out really well. And it was worth it because it was only 1 green pip, which makes it easy to splash. And it, the main thing is it's a transform card, but even on the transformation, that's not even really the big part of it. The big part of it is when you play it, you can like, when you play it, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you can play a creature with mana value 4 or less from those 5 cards, that's value. That's really good value. And so that's all it was just value of, oh, nothing I have is like, or everything I have is like, you know, just really solid, good plays. I'm not trying to sound like I'm patting myself on the back. It's just Limited is something I've been getting into over the past few months. And this is my first time playing Sealed in a very long time. So I'm just kind of happy with how it went. It was a fun deck to play. We're playing Blueprints again because we're not done. I don't think. There's definitely more to this. The next day, oh, interesting. We didn't get our normal, it didn't just say day whatever, it said the next day. My controller, I believe, just died. Nope, it didn't. Okay, never mind. Is there new music? Oh, we got a little trophy. Open only in the event of inheritance. Oh, this is new. This is new stuff. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure everything's going well. There we go. Now we can get into character. Dear Baron, welcome to Mount Holly, your home. I still remember the first time I was addressed by my title. I was quite a bit older than you, but it still felt strange, especially after a lifetime of hearing my father addressed daily by that same title. But life is a journey of growth. Growing up, growing older, growing wiser. And in our ease, growing into the Baron of Reddington. The Baron doesn't have to be a daunting figure. He could be quiet and unassuming, or loud, brash, and boisterous. He could be deceptive, or trustworthy, humble, or boastful, or any measure of other things, but always clever. When I inherited Mount Holly, I never had to prove myself. They just gave me the keys and left it at that. It felt too easy, too trivial, and very undeserved. Experience comes with time, but without validation, I spent the better part of my youth questioning myself. And as I grew older, that lack of conviction and aimlessness amplified. I never really had any goals or objectives to strive toward. I never had any dreams to realize. I never set my sights on something beyond the horizon. I never had a room 46 to reach. And now that you have reached your goal and are basking in your well-deserved glory, shiny trophy in hand, and showered with accolades and titles, will you be content to stop there? Or will you look to the horizon and wonder what dreams lie ahead? Ovinn Nevarei, Herbert S. Sinclair. I'm gonna do a quick write down of that phrase, because I do not know what it means. Oh? The trophies of Mount Holly. Full House Trophy, Draft Room. Oh, these are... That's funny. These are the, achievements, I suppose. Solve the puzzle in Room 8 on Rank 8. Trophy 8. Room 8 on Rank 8. Unlock all realm sigils. Win the drafting strategy sweepstakes. Win 40 parlor games, 40 dartboard puzzles. Complete the directory. Draft a room in each open slot. Reach room 46. Didn't we already do that? Reach room 46 in dare mode. Reach 46 in curse mode. Under an hour. Ace the classroom final exam. Holy crap. Something tells me I might not be getting all of those on stream. Note the part where I said on stream. I might get all of those off stream if I can. I don't know what that does, but I'm gonna keep doing it. It's become a habit, a ritual, a hitual, apparently is what I was going to say. Toolshed, hovel, trading post. I want to do the hovel because there is Ovinn Nevarei. I don't want to look that up because if that's like a spoiler, or is it Latin? Actually, I can look that up in a translation tool. That is YouTube, my friend. If I had to guess, it's Latin. I don't care if you're available in more languages. I only need this one. Oh. That's... Huh. Okay, so a few things. First of all, the one thing I didn't pick up until we just got that, and I think that's intentional, is you're the Baron of this county, which is pretty significant. Whether or not, I don't know, in-game lore, whether Baron is simply a title or whether it's an actual figure, it's an actual, like, position, a government position, I don't know. But you're the Baron of Reddington now. The other thing is, translating that from Latin is, I would not have come. Or, like, that's ominous, dude. That is so ominous. Unless I wrote it down wrong or something, I can double check that. But that's a warning, dude. All right, this is the hovel. That's the guy that was fired. That is terrifying. Don't have a shovel. What was it that I found? This? 2 wings. This is not the one I thought. 45292. Coincidence? This is not the one I thought it was. What is it I was looking for? I was looking for... I think the other one I wanted was... Might have been the trading post, actually, that I wanted. But this still, I'd forgotten about this. $45292. I'm kind of writing some stuff down again, because I wrote it down so disjointed in the first place. But there is 45292. Blue, blue, red, purple, yellow. Or teal, teal, pink, purple, orange. If we go by the math thing, though, doesn't that 45292, isn't that like, add, subtract, no, add, multiply, divide, subtract. So 4, 5, so plus 4, plus 5, that'd be plus 9. Times 2 is 18. Divided by 9 is 2. Subtract 2 is 0. $45292. But then it says coincidence. So what is it referring to? 45 rooms, 2 wings, 9 ranks, 2 starting rooms. What does that mean? Why is it colored? Anyway, yeah, I was hoping, what is in the hovel usually? Special floor plans now cross steps instead of, okay. Well, this might be a short run. I would not have come is... Jesus. That is not what I was expecting. Ovinn, Nevarei. But it also gave options when I looked it up. It gave options for Norse or Norwegian and Slovenian. In Slovenian, it's dangerous. Just dangerous. In Latin, it's I would not have come. Which is also kind of a similar meaning, honestly. Either I regret or just you should not have been here. You should not be here. The Mount Holly gift shop? Souvenirs for sale? Well, what the heck? You have to take that. Okay, this is incredible. Enjoy a lunch. Thanks for visiting. The Bluebird. Postcards. What the The Red Prince. Blue tents. Tents fit for a prince. This is something else. Dirigiblocks Console Edition. Blue tents, a permanent addition to the campsite. Blue tents can only be purchased after you've proven your merit as a scout by obtaining 8 trophies in your trophy room. 2 dry finish. Water resistant treatment. Swimbird plushie. Unlock Dare mode. Home console edition. A permanent addition to the pool. A permanent addition to the dining room. When you reach rank 5 with a lunchbox, gain half of your dinner steps. It just looks nice. A permanent addition to the walk-in closet. Okay, cool, I guess. Interesting time to have jokes, game. Greetings from Reddington. It's about time you visit Mount Holly. So someone at one point who owned this place made it like a tourist destination. The clock there, though, says 1:30. Does that mean anything? This is also just greetings from Reddington. The observatory. I give up. I'm stumped. Oh my god, it's mocking me. I love this. Merry Christmas. Just looking to see if there's anything different about any of these. That top one is blank. That's so funny. Can I buy this little doll? This is cute. Alright, well, that's the gift shop. Commissary, parlor, bedroom. This isn't a bad spot for the bedroom, given the fact that it is just in the corner. I mean, it doesn't do anything but give us steps, but maybe we'll find that thing later that gives us, Oh, with the compass. Maybe we'll find that thing later that gives us more, steps per bedroom. Utility closet. Hallway facing wrong direction. Do I want this, or do I want one of the closets? I mean, I guess I'll grab this. It doesn't let me... I wish it would let me reread the envelopes. I think there is more to this, though, because it did say there is... Ooh, the rumpus room. It did say there is someone else here. See, the rumpus room only has one exit, but I know the rumpus room has hints. So we're going to take it. We're gonna visit our old friend Beer. No. Oh, there's a record player. Old friend Alzara. Give me your secrets, my friend.
As it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I hear the pattering steps of children running in the forest. The joyful echoes of laughter in the courtyard. I see an old man sitting in an even older chair. A seed that has served many generations, each with their own stories, each with their own secrets, each with their own endings, but all in the same chair. What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
Well, that was cool, but it didn't really give us any information. Although it did tell our future and said that we're going to have... Oh!
The walls are filled with the sounds. Oh, the sounds. Oh, those sounds of ferrets of other times that could have been, ferrets in space, ferrets that throw sticks at gods, ferrets that have communed with godlike entities, ferrets that have slain, chunky, gods. What sounds do you hear now, oh ferret mine?
Thanks for the bits, Mecha. What sounds do I hear? I hear the sounds of confusion. But confusion doesn't have a... No, there's gotta be a better answer than that. What sounds do we hear in here? Hear the sounds of footsteps mixed with confusion and genies. Flummoxed ferrets, that is perfect. Passageway. You know what? Maybe I take the passageway. No, I can get down there anyway. I can take this. Yeah, that cutscene didn't really give us anything other than it told us we're gonna live a long life, we're gonna have kids, everyone's gonna be very happy in the courtyard, and it's gonna be everyone's gonna be content, and it just seemed like a very happy future, but didn't really help me now, Elzara. What do these clocks say? These are moving. It is... Right, there's symbols on these. What do these mean? Why are there arrows everywhere? Arrows across and arrows in a V. What sounds does Mount Holly make? That's not moving, but this is still moving. Swans. They're having a flame war over the best Final Fantasy. And they're all wrong because none of them reached 14, that's true. Although this one could be pointing to 11 and 1. That could be 12. Should I be waiting for it to reach that position? Or is it like a... See, that's the thing, that is the one thing I think is... Getting to room 46, I think, is the easy puzzle. And I think everything else is much more difficult. New way to read clocks unlocked. I mean, time-wise, that could be either... depending on which hand is which, it could be either 1:55 or 11:05. But that's what makes me think it isn't a time. Because otherwise, one of the arrows would probably be longer than the other. But arrows are a motif that show up everywhere here. They show up in the drawing room, too. I don't think anything's actually going to happen when it reaches there, but I'm just wondering, like... Unless this opens when it reaches there, that'd be nuts. This is a box of some kind. What if this is something you can only click on when it reaches that position? As I am now rapidly... Most. Okay, I mean, that's fair. It was a long shot, but this is the bigger one. What do these mean? Why are there two clocks? And then there's the pawn again. East Wing Hall. Have I ever unlocked the East Wing Hall? Or have I only ever done the West Wing Hall? Conservatory lets you adjust floor plans. That's actually not bad. That fits really well. So yeah, let's take it. Conservatory has a rook. Darkroom, master bedroom, and rotunda. What's this? Oh! Okay, wait, hold on. See, I want to write down hints in an orderly way, but they come up so randomly. Like, I'm keeping my safe, the stuff for safes, on a different page now. Just so I can keep track of them. So the West Wing is the garage, West Wing Hall, understandably, have a nice day, and her ladyship's chambers. East Wing has East Wing Hall and the master bedroom. Special cases. The conservatory is only in corners. And the bookstore is only from libraries. Okay. That is new. Alright, so we've got the master bedroom, which is pretty good. The rotunda rotates, that's cool. But I think the master bedroom's honestly one that I probably would want to see a little more often. How often? Probably not commonplace. See, this is what I get worried about when modifying rarities. I'm like, is this something I want to see, like, all the time? Can I change all of them? Oh, I can. I don't know if I need the dark room anymore. So actually, I'm going to make it rare. And this should just go right back to the entrance hall. Yeah. I've created a loop. Perfect. And there are still 3 exits. I found the gift shop. If you weren't here for that, I found the Mount Holly gift shop where you can buy postcards about how I give up, I'm stumped. And you can buy the Swimbird plushie to unlock Dare mode. I don't know what that means. This feels very Stanley Parable, to be honest. Room 46 foam finger. That's that. There's our billiard room. Hallway again. All hallways, all the time. Kitchen's actually not terrible. We must right the wrongs committed against Swimbird. That is so true. That book was so depressing. She's just like, yeah, and then he, like, gave up and died or something. I don't know. Sandwich for every green room. How many green rooms do I have? I just have the one right now. I can come back here, though. That's fine. Oh, spread gems to each green room. I actually do want this. Does that include itself? Maybe. And this one's going to wind up being a dead end. But we do have the laboratory. Or I could just take the pantry if I don't feel like spending the steps. I still have this. I need to pump in power from the boiler room to get this to work. But then I need to flip these after... It's either after 9 o'clock or I have to flip the ones after 9. Either way, one of them. Experiment setup. Set your steps to 40. One gem or one die. See, this is good, especially since I'm spending steps, but it's like... If you draw a drawing, so not if you use it, just if you see it. Oh, there was one other note I wanted to make. Her Ladyship's Chambers is south-facing only. This isn't going to happen very often anymore. I guess this one would be the more useful one. Although this one I have a little more control over. So I'm actually going to do this. Here's all the logs. Oops. No, let me go. Log in. I wonder if you get anything for linking all the computers together. That's another thing where it's going to depend on it's going to depend a little bit on luck, because it's like, what are you getting from the outside room? Because one of them you need the bunker for. Periodic table. It's the note about water. Now I'll take this. The bishop is in the rumpus room. One of the bishops. Observatory. Yeah, let's take that. There's still this thing that lets me climb. But what's the point of this? Wait. Oh, this is right. This is the thing that either... Why is that an option, though? Is it clipping? Or is that just like a... I feel like this is just something I had to do to set it up originally. What do we have? Diamond and... Green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. It's weed. Listen, if they didn't want me to make that joke, they wouldn't have labeled it like that. Right, there's the pool room again. Well, the parlor at least lets me continue, as much as I kind of wanted to do the pool room. The gems are in this box. The statement is of no help at all. The gems are in the blue box. Okay. Well, if this is true, and this is true, then this is false. If this is true, and this is true, then this is false, and that works. If this is true, then this has to be true, and this winds up being false. If this is false, and this is false, then this is true. Wait, hold on. If this is false, then they're not in the blue box. If this is false, then they're not in the blue box. If this is true, then this is of no help, and we don't know which one of these two it's in. If this is true, then this is also true, and they're in this box. But in that case, this has to be false, which means this statement is of help, which isn't true. So this has to be false. No, this has to be true. But in order for this to be true, one of these needs to be false, which they can't both be false. The gems are in here. The way I think of it is, this is true, and which means this is true. And because this helped us, because this being false is what helped us know that this one has to be the one that's false and these ones have to be the one that's true, then by being false, the statement is of help, which makes it false. Either that or it's completely unrelated. I'm overthinking it. But either way. Hey, look, the drawing room. Do I put the drawing room here, or do I put the passageway here? I put the drawing room here. And we got another peek at this. But what is your password? What does this mean? Oh, there's that symbol. You've seen this for the crest or the coat of arms or whatever it was. What? What is the password here? One, 4, 5, 8, 11. There's 11 going to the left. There's 1, 2, 4 going to the right. That could be a date. No. But these are the arrows again. There's the foundation. I wonder if there's anything in room 46 now that I've opened it once. Suppose we should set it up just in case. We've also got these things which I'm almost certain are still acronyms of some kind. I mean, I definitely think I didn't need to do that. That's right. It's like set up the right way, I think, right from the start. Wait, is the other door gone? Oh, there it is. Never mind. There's also that top one, though. Where's that go? How do I get up there? Already read that. What is this music? Back to the music that there was. 8 doors. There must be something that I can look at in there, like... I'm wondering if room 46 is, like, explorable now that I've been there. I can, like... look at stuff in there. There's some really ominous music happening here. It's like a drum beat. I still think there might be stuff down here too, because there's like an opening on the other side of here, and there's these things, but I don't know what they do. It almost looks like some kind of power box. I think that has to do with the pool, maybe? Maybe the... I don't think it's the boiler. Other doors. Have I not found any keys yet? It's gonna be a problem given the fact that I took the thing to open the lock boxes. Oh, hey, look, the garage. Guess I'll take the garage. See, it's here too. Sometimes there's an item over here. Walk-in closet if I don't mind. This being a dead end. What is this? Oh, the sleep mask. Bedrooms give an extra 5. Lockpicks. That's good. Gem and big key. There's another swan. So I'm gonna go around to the other one in the drawing room. This is driving me crazy because I do not know what it's trying to tell me. Just that I feel like I should be able to do it already. Oh, locksmith. It's one heck of a dead end, though. As much as I do want to do the locksmith at some point. I wound up with a lot of hallways. Nursery, that's a dead end. It might be good. I mean, I have that other thing, though, so I don't really need it. I mean, if that other thing fails, though. Like, if I wind up not being able to do it somehow. Still love that we have Trogdor. Anything else in here that I haven't seen? There are 2 cribs, which is interesting. Can't pick it. Office. Gonna take the office. Since I know there's a safe here. And also I can do this. Also something about a puzzle on the 8th rank, the 8th room of the 8th rank. Does that mean I just basically have to, it's a puzzle that only unlocks if I get to the 8th rank in 8 rooms? Fuse box repair. $1993. Is that what year it is right now? Right, we've already seen that. Hi, Blade. How's it going? Chunky will kick your ass. Chunky will kick K. Rool's ass. Chunky will kick Lanky's ass. Chunky will kick his own ass. I haven't done the network stuff yet. The antechamber lever is broken. That picture, which is we now know is the main character's mom. I still don't know what this means. Please check if any books matching the titles are available for purchase in Reddington. Hearings or herrings? Don't ask Chunky how that works. I don't know what this means. March of the Count. Why is that the only one that's not in red? It's the only one that doesn't have a double letter in it. Because Queen, Fall, Passing, and Herrings all have a double letter. March could also be like the month March. We have this safe. Now, I do have another... Well, I have a couple things I could do. I have... 1, 2, 1, 3, I think I got somewhere. I wrote it down anyway. Hold on, there was another one. Oh, this is the one that said it was a lie, so I don't think it worked. But there was 9083. No, that doesn't work. 1111. You know, maybe. Damn. I got 1412, but I know what that was for already. I mean, if that hint... Flight of the Queen, March of the Count, Fall of the Lord, Passing of the Barons, Herrings of the Major, or Hearings of the Major. There's a ton of busts who are all the previous owners. Triangle. Books in your crane. Are they related to the shapes? The Lord, the Barons, the Major. Queen, the Count, the Lord, the Barons, the Major. The Queen, I'm assuming, would be this one. It's a pyramid that's a triangle, so it'd be like 3 or 5 if it's like the number of faces. Which one's the Count, though? No way of knowing. That's the king piece. That's the only place I've seen the king piece. Is in the office. But this one's next to this D20 shape. Oh! If we're going by die, this is a D4. This is a D20. This would be the Baron, I suppose. Any other shapes here? A couple more D20s. There's... It could be a D100. I can't inspect this anymore. Like, I can't flip it over or anything. Whenever you enter the ballroom, set your gems to 2. That's not good. Oh, another map. Now we've done a new clue. We haven't done this one. Just the map. From there to there. What does that mean, though? We start in the observatory and we go up, left, left, up, up. But how am I supposed to... See, that's the issue, is I always get this when I've already started drafting. So how am I supposed to do that? Unless I can do that on any run. I guess I can take a picture of it, just in case. There's the bookshop. I don't have a lot of money. See, everything in the bookshop is really expensive. There's the gallery. There's a puzzle in the gallery. This is new. Thick. Christopher Manson. Blank, 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 blank. Acrylic and oil on canvas. Oh? PWFPTSCDP. Okay. W. Okay. Hubris, envy, lust, wrath, gluttony, sloth, avarice. Infinity. Blank, blank, blank. Oh, oops, didn't mean to do that. Blank, 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 blank. Actual objective. Say very Gina. Blank, 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 blank. Alright, so I guess I have to name the paintings. I mean, oh, there we go. So what can I spell? Well, this font is kind of rough, so I'm glad it also has this over here. Guessing this is thick. this one. How many is this? Yeah. 5, 6, 7. Mislead, maybe? No, can't be that. Distract. Cop. Cognition? No. Pog. Logic? Logical? No. Oh, this is hard. Because it's a matter of, like, what words do you actually have access to? Okay, we'll come back to this one. But this one. Got 6 letters. Giant-ass P. Stop. Wagons. Third W, because it could just be wagons. No. This is the only one that I really know for sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Two chess pieces. Can't reset them. Defiance? No. I mean, definitely sounds... God, this is, this might take a little... I might be better off doing this on paper, because this is a lot. There's a lot of possibilities. Thick was the easy one. Did you get that thing that said XYZ ABC? Does that mean anything? I don't think so. Not for this. Hold on. Where's the... let me see. First letters could be W, B, C, T, T, L, S, M, second letter could be A, E, I, O, U H R T S O jeez I V L R N T D T H S I K V A E O N L R C S N D G R W T E Y. Well, Y sticks out as the last letter. Because, like, if the Y were going to be anywhere... Read... A-E-I-O-U-H-R-T. The vowels are trans. Anyway, that's my time. Policy. Policy. Oops. See, the issue is I have no way of checking if this is right. Thank you for clipping that. Policy. Unless there's another thing that... there is a giant P. It says stop. There's... fire hydrants. Unless those are supposed to be the key clue to what letters are in it. Because that says thick, right? Wait, hold on. Let me look at this. P. There's an O. There is an S. There's a T. There's a P. There's two P. Is it that simple? Is it that there's two P's and then STO? Because if that's the case, maybe we can look at it differently, because I am surprised I could spell out policy there, but there must be a logic to this, and every single row has at least one of the letters. Some of them have more. Our first one has PTS. Our second one has OT. Our third one has SOT. T. Our fourth one has T, S. Our fifth one has OS. And our last one has just T. There are two P's, though. And only one P in this entire thing. And there's no... Oh, no, there is a B. Something like an upside down. There's a D, too. Because I was thinking if I could just figure out where other things had to be. If it is the case that the letters in the thing are... Then what happens here? Actual objective. You have GENU and VERI. We only have 7 letters, but one of those letters is shared. So GNUVERI. If you ignore actual objective, GNUVERI. Does that spell anything? In Revungi. I don't know. There's a shark. There's 38 nails. There's a shark. Last 15 minutes doing a quiz about why water physics are tricky. HIGH. I was thinking highlight, but that doesn't fit. There's gotta be something. Because also, this is just... what words can I make? I thought policy was pretty good. Are there other words that can be made? ST TR. I might need, like, maybe there's something else I can get that'll hint to this. Maybe if I... In this one, the first letter isn't a vowel. Wasted is also something that could be made out of this. Why a P? And eyeballs. So you get like wasted, washed, washer, no, there's got to be something more to it because there's too many words that can be made. Posted? No, paw. There's only one P. Maybe because maybe it starts with a P? Is that what that means? Sloth, avarice. Wrath is behind there. Maybe defunct, because it's too many letters for that. Defunged. Oh, this isn't even the same. Is there a part to this I'm missing? I mean, there is the option of Slottle. Just brute forcing it. That's not how you spell slaughter. There an E, I can spell reptile. Reptile. Thick, policy, reptile. What can I make out of this? Is there an L here? Derelict. There we go. I have made words out of all of them. They're not right, but I've made them. Okay, now that I've spent like an hour in here, maybe I should like do something important. Kennel. Fortunately, I don't have a shovel this time, so... I also still haven't found any, lockboxes. So I'm gonna run out of steps real fast. Didn't even get to room 46 this time. Courtyard. Yeah, I think this one's over. Prosaic Villa? The hell's that mean? It was day 37. What does that mean? Is that a hint? I don't trust this game. I don't trust anything about this game anymore. Is that a hint? Is everything a hint? Is that an acronym? Prosaic. Commonplace or dull? Matter of fact. Unimaginative. Well, fuck you too, uncle. I sat there and got your painting room and everything and sat there playing around with letters for like an hour. You're telling me I'm commonplace? It's the same. Well, let's see what's outside. Trading post, shelter, and root cellar. Trading post one that I wanted to see? I think so. I think there's a letter in here. And dynamite for some reason? That's right, I forgot about that. Oh, maybe it wasn't here. Maybe it was the root cellar. I mean, if I really want to see that letter, I could go back in the VOD and I could look at it. I know I have no items for trade. The Alzara vision gave us a vision of the drawing room, a vision of the courtyard, I think, and a vision of the space where we found the conservatory, I think. So I don't think that's super important. Just thinking of what I should do. Ooh, kennel right away. Sure. Puppy. Where's the cat? What is that? Puppy. Dig spot. It's a good spot for the observatory. I do like taking the observatory whenever I can get it. It's the key, I think. Oh, that's the apple. That's the thing. That's the key. Nice. All good stuff. There's the night observatory. Maybe I just have to place one of each of the chess pieces? What are the chess pieces I need to place if I want to do that? Where'd I put it? Pawn, knight, bishop, rook, queen, king. The queen and the king are always in the same places. The bishop, the knight, and the pawn, and the rook can all be different. But there's some that they're blue. Why blue? I really think I should make it to room 46 again. Just to see what happens. Good spot for the hallway. There's the Great Hall, archives, kitchen. These all suck. Guess I'll take the Great Hall. Excuse me, sorry. Deep in thought here. I am going to take the greenhouse. That's the broken lever. It's one of the music pieces. We don't need that anymore. Oh, can I take that? I can. Oh, that's good, because I got the other thing, too, which is... whenever you dig, unlock all doors in the room. Hopefully that'll help. So unfortunately, there's probably no dig spots there, but there are dig spots here. There's a key. Puppy. 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 That one doesn't want to talk to me. I think there are a couple outside, though, too. Not worth picking up, but we did anyway. Why am I able to interact with the dynamite if I can't actually pick it up? Could trade the shovel for something, but I like the shovel, so I'm keeping it. We did get these as well. Aquariums are every color, so why not? Oh, I don't have a gem. That's why not. Corridor. Pantry. That's good too. West Wing Hall. I was thinking maybe it would be better, maybe it would be good to take this just to get it out of the way, and then I realized, no, that's the exact opposite of what you would want to do with this. So yeah, let's just do this. Oh, excuse me, sorry. There's the Cloister of Mila. I think we just take the den. It is about to reach that one. It's not a bad place. Go to the left first, though. Cloister of Mila again, the archives. Gonna have to do the bedroom. Take the extra key, though. God, none of those connect. This just leaves the West Wing Hall. Guess I'll take this stuff. Not even any dig spots. Looking around just in case something happened with this. Didn't. Secret passage is the only one that lets me win. Take this. I think I finally figured out why that special cost bypass thing shows up. It's because it would put you in a situation where you wouldn't actually be able to draft a room if you didn't have gems. So it can't offer you like 3 rooms that would all cost gems. Because on the off chance you didn't have any gems, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Foundation. I want to go down, open that again. Key. There's actually one more dig spot. Yeah. And nothing of interest was gained. Still haven't been to that other side. I think I need the pump room for that if I had to guess. There's those drums again. Eight doors. And then if I want to get to the... If I do want to get to room 46, what do I have to do? To open one of the sides. So I either have to go to Secret Garden, which has been kind of the easiest way, or I find the lever. Can I interact with this? No. He's pondering his orb. It's fine. The other one was the Great Hall. Just drafting the Great Hall, you can get it. Which might be something I could do. I did get that thing that... Oh no, the Great Hall only has 2 entrances, doesn't it? Rotunda. These all suck. Another hallway? Sure. Why not? It's all hallways, all the way down. If I want to try and go for full house, I would need to do this. I'm going to go for the storeroom now. The storeroom has a pawn. This. So maybe the idea is to do the chess puzzle. I need to draft. Oh, wait. Maybe it's telling me I need to have blue rooms with the chess pieces. And blue rooms are just like the default rooms. I do want the billiard room. Maybe? Because this can give the secret garden key. So 18... 12, 20, 17, 38, 20, 20, 2, 20, 45. Silver key? Okay. Not the secret garden key. I should have gone back to the entrance because I did get the sledgehammer. You have 5. Okay, well, these all suck. Might have to eat the archives. Okay, these... I've written these dates down before, but they weren't very organized. I think I'm just going to write them down here, just in case. Where's this archive? Archive dates. And I think I've figured out that the codes are only going to be 4 digits, because the other ones were only 4 digits. So this one, it would be 0822. All right, award. 0127 was related to Red Prince. Yeah. Uh, 1111. So 1111 could be a code. RLCF 1117. She drops the publisher. And then 0222. Disappearance. Oh, and then 0902. Gems. Okay. So, if any of those are clues, well, I've got it written down now. Garage, patio, or archive. I'm going to take the patio. There's going to be a gem here. Oh, metal detector. This goes back to the courtyard, which should also have a gem now. Greenhouse walls. I'll have a gem if I need it. Now I just go up through the archive. Nope, can't. Never mind. Oh, did I lock myself out? I locked myself out. Crap. Well, it was nice while it lasted. Unless the... How do I get out? Unless the lobby or the foyer or the main hall or whatever that is has a key card. Nope, just a ton of gems. Another map. Okay, wait, this is the same map that we got last time. Right? Okay, so the maps are limited. And then a compass. But unfortunately I can't continue unless I can trade for a key card. That's possible too. Oh, you know why this happened? Because I didn't throw a thing in the fountain. Will they trade me any of these for a key card? Coin purse, lockpick kit. Oh, right, I forgot about the vault key. Coin purse, car keys, coin purse. None of that helps me. A rug. All right. Well, let's give it another try. Mid-sized villa. $39. You know what? I'm the Baron of this place. I feel like I should be able to step as many times as I want. This is my house. Oh, I didn't pick up my allowance. Tool shed. Oh, there's schoolhouse. I do want the root cellar, though. Because it has a note. Where is it? Here. No sign has been found yet. And then faded is XYZ ABC. XYZ ABC. What does this mean? With a blue underline. Maybe the sign is just a reference to the fact that the messages were in the books on signs. I think the important part, though, is the XYZ ABC. But that must line up with something. I was hoping there would be more here, but I guess not. Just the potatoes. Oh. Okay, wait, hold on. Because we've got barons, lords. So those are titles. Maybe we can use those somewhere? In we go once more. Gems are in the white box. The other two statements are both true. The gems are not in the blue box. Well, this can't be true, or this can't be true because then the other two would also be true. So this has to be false. They can't all be true. Gems are not in the blue box. The gems are in the white box. So this is false. And this is true. Then this winds up being true. This is false. And this is true. This could be... No. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say if this is true, then couldn't that be false? No, because if this is true, then those are true. This has to be false. If this is true, the gems are in here. And this winds up being true as well. If this is false, gems are not in the white box. Then this would have to be true and they're in the blue box. So false, false, true results in them being in the blue box. False, true, true winds up with them in the white box. But these both can't be true because if those are both true, this would be true. So one of these has to be false. And if this is true, this winds up being true. So this has to be false. They're not in the white box. This has to be true. They're not in the... Wait, no. Fuck. This is false. If this is true, but then that winds up being true. If this is false, and this is false, then this winds up being true. They're not in the blue box. If this is false and this is true, they're in the white box. This winds up being true anyway. And they wind up being in the white box, but this winds up being true, which can't happen. So this is false. This is false. They're not in the white. Oh, this is false. If this is true, and that winds up being true. If this is false, or this is false, if this is false, this winds up being true. So we know they're not in the blue box, and they're not in the white box. So they're in the black box. Jesus. Oh, my head hurts. Not really. I mean, I do have the extra gems for it. It's not like a huge issue to spend the one. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, because I moved the mouse. Guess we'll do that. Sometimes there's stuff over here. Sometimes there's stuff over here. Oh, wait, hold on. Key 149. It's always 149, it seems. Let's do this. Just in case. Wait, has this changed? No. Oh, I can put the special order in. I haven't really been using this at all. I mean, the most useful one usually has been the shovel, it seems. Oh, there's the laboratory. I do want to do the laboratory. Billiard room could also give me the secret garden key if I get there. Let's do the laboratory, though. That way we can do the thing. Maybe we could get the power running here. Each bedroom you draft after the second gain 1 key for every 2 always. You draft a red room, lose 5 steps, then gain 3 gold for each red room. I'm gonna do this one. Times it. There's no clock in this room. That's not helpful. This is a good spot for storeroom. We're off to a pretty decent start. Does connect. That's cool. There's a knight. So is that the blue knight? It's 9:30. So when it says after 9, does it mean AM or PM? Oh, you need to get stuff going. You need to get power going to it anyway. Well, I wasted a step, but that's okay. To another hallway. We've got synergy with the bedroom, and also that we can still get to that corner through the other side. Hat. Hallway, pantry. Oh, whoops, I'm moving my mouse again. My bad. That's what I get for putting my feet up in. Chapel, honestly, might be the best one. Because it just guarantees that I can go forward. But then that side is a little bit locked off if I do this. Hallway runs the risk of not being able to continue, though, too. I'm gonna do the hallway anyway. All hallways, all the time. Nothing but hallways. Do I want to go back to the entrance hall and do that corner? I can try. I mean, I think I have the steps for it. I think I can afford to use the steps. Billiard room cuts it off. Den has a gem, so I'm just gonna do the den. Oh, there's the vault. Oh, and I have the key. Oh, I should do that. Money. These, can I look at these? No, I can't. Okay, so 149. What's that? An allowance token. And more money. Nevarei's passport. Oh, that's a different name. I've started taking pictures of all this stuff. So that's the, what I assume her fake identity? $112.54. $110.84. $110.94. And we know what those symbols mean, I think, too, although I'm not sure if this is really important, but... What is it? Fog? Marshall, Foggy... What's the outline mean? I forgot. Oh, yeah, I took a picture of it. That's right. Marshall, Foggy. Each corresponding to a different color. So yellow. Oh yeah, this is the same one as the example that was in the book. The core, the ray, the motes, and the border. What was the core? I think the core was one of the pages that was destroyed. Yeah. But we know it was Yellow Banners. And then Nevarei is the place. Can't take that with me. So really it got us an allowance token, was ultimately what it got us. Alright, well I'm glad I went that way. Now if I get the library, that'll also be helpful. Another hallway. That is an option. Courtyard. I honestly don't want to spend my gems if I don't have to. Let's grab the items. Hope it's something good. Not really, but okay. Oh, breaker box. That's useful for if we happen to come across locked doors, we can unlock them now. Actually, I might... Oh no, there's no way forward if I take the breaker box. Oh, wait, yeah, there is. There's the hallway over there. I don't know if it's worth... Because that means we'd really be locking ourselves into that one entrance. I'm not sure that's a good idea, so... Spare room, pantry... Take the pantry. Nana. Corridor. Redraw. Oh, hey, a key card. Although I don't really... See, none of these connect really nicely to the foundation, which kind of sucks. Library would be good. I'll grab this. And this is a blue room, right? Yeah. This could be the blue rook? Maybe? Oh, coupon book. There's the library. It's not great, but what I'm hoping for is the bookstore. Oh, but I did get a book, that's right. Curse of Blackbridge. It's December 15th. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale, capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Oh god. This is... Oh my god. Oh dear. Well, strap in. Hold on. Do I have water with me? I do. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst at a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, highway robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, the notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. would take any easier route out. That's why I was confused. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted, and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. Sorry, I have to reread sometimes. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming round to the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expressions even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them! I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have! It would have taken me 4-fold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? Must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far! You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worthy undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself." Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. "In my youth, often, but perhaps I have took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here out in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward." It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today." He raised the basket even higher. "A taste in memory of your youth, sir." The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "Wait, what? Sorry, what?" Bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. At the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth." Jesus Christ. It took me a minute to understand that the kid was stabbing him. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling. More frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. "Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me." Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. "Why have you no purse upon your person?" The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. "There's a lockbox. It's in the carriage." "Well, come down then, and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat." The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. "I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you were showing me?" "I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me?" Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. "If there's no lockbox, there will be no clemency." Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Erindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not easily open without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. "Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box?" Without emotion, the driver replied, "There is no key to that box." Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. "You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed." Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" "That's one." Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling agenter? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace." He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. That's a really good line. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past. But now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real? No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution, and if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance, and so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let it go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. If I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Do you want to read something real quick? Death. Sorry, I want to see if I can catch a detail here. So it seems like he didn't walk very far from the carriage to the tree. Because I'm assuming the implication here is that the driver himself had been cursed and passed the curse on, and that's why he was riding around in the carriage that hadn't been used. And now Jesper's going to do the same thing. He's going to ride around in the carriage because he can't use up his steps. Part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Black Bridge is hard to say. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaping the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her in one of the trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and she saw a pail of water resting behind a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwanted sound, or unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was the source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds were in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Sorry, I have to reread. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Black Guard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expressions. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. "Go!" Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. Okay, so I guess go. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of the sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller woke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead, louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Damn. Just reading. Oh, because the patrol had seen them, yeah. Well, that was a fun, feel-good story for the whole family. Gallery art named. 0. Okay. Red letters, 2. That's true. I have drafted the tomb. Library security. Well, yeah, because these books are so long. Yeah, I always draft the observatory. I always draft the hallway. Electromatic magnet. Pick sound amplifier. What are those? 8. Still have never drafted the locksmith. Never drafted the chamber of mirrors. Never drafted the attic. Made it to 4th grade. Okay. Well, continuing on, there's the bookshop. That is what I wanted. Even though it cuts me off, actually, it screws me over. Whoops. Oh, there is a hallway. A new clue sold out in hours. Bon Margle was the inspiration for a new clue. Okay. Oh. Wait. Either she was taunting the detective with the book, or he was in on it. But no, he and the uncle were kind of adversaries. So, what does that mean? There's the bishop. We did the Curse of Blackbridge. History of Arindia First Edition is probably going to be the one that actually has the unredacted. So I'm trying to think. Realm and Rune. Drafting Strategy Volume 4 and Volume 5. Might be able to get more for that. Well, am I going to be able to come back here? Probably not. So it might be better off to just buy one of these now. Yeah. I can buy the other one too. How much does I thought the coupon book made things 50% off. I guess it just takes a little bit off. Okay, where do I have to go? Hallway. Other hallway. The hallway that connects to the hallway. Only when I can take a spare room. Only when I can take his kennel. Puppy, puppy, puppy. I don't know what this means. Black cat stretching up to the CA in the corner. California? Oh my god. Big spots. All of these are dead ends. So I might as well take this. If I find a way to thaw this... must be a way to adjust it. Alright, no worries, Mecca. Have a good night. I know, I just pretty much read a bedtime story, too. No worries at all. I know this has been kind of subdued because at this point I'm at the point where the puzzles are very complicated now. Is there a way to get... How do I... I'm gonna do one more run. I think I have to call it a day, because, yeah, I'm blocked off from continuing. That's why I took the freezer, though, because I froze those, and so I'll be able to start tomorrow with that. Day 40. Oh, I should do my outer room stuff first. What is curse mode? Now I know how to unlock it, but what is it? What does it do? I think I am going to take the shelter. What's that? Oh, that's the thing the gem was on. We've got this. Radiation. Spiked by the experiments conducted in the live. If the reading is 12 or higher, all doors in the house will automatically unlock. What? Don't I have something about USV too? It was way, way back. Was that freezer? No, it's UPA. Jesus. Alright, let's log into the network. Very nice of them to not make me retype this password over and over again, although I have two other passwords. One of them's the admin password, and one of them's the, what is it? Network password. Security, laboratory, office, all have them. But when can I use those passwords? Is what I'm wondering. Because the, this one's separated from the others. Is this the one where I can use the admin key? First four letters of last name followed by first initial. and then followed by first initial, that'd be H. No, okay. We also have, that's the admin key. No, Blackbridge is the network name. And I also want to do the path to that treasure if I can. So where's that need to start? That needs to start... I need to discover something on this stream. Otherwise... Oops. That's camera, passport. We do have Mary's date of birth now. 1/12. It would be 0112. Unless it's a lie. There's also the letters ID in the top right, which could just be ID, but they look really out of place. Let's say 110 or 112, actually. Sorry, that's 112. Yeah, oh, I did write down at 112, okay. Alright, there's the... So I have to go from rank 3D to... Okay, I have to start at 3D. Oh, you know what's not 3D? This bot that I'm going to squash into 2D. Oops, I'm dropping everything. Everything is falling. Everything is bad. Here we go. Mission accomplished. Okay. Spot 3D, so that's there. Welcome to Mount Holly. Yeesh. Very early dining room. I don't know if I like that. Having a kennel early on is a little bit better. Let's do the kennel. Puppy. Corner. Still haven't made it back to room 46. Nine. 10 times 4 is 40, divided by 20 is 2. 9. 5. Wait, what? 5 times 20 would be 100. Am I getting this mixed up? Blue is add. This was also way back. Blue is add, red is malt. Okay, so 9, 36, 16. Eight, 16, 3. Two keys. You can't trick me with math. hall because this is the only place you can actually do the East Wing Hall. Workshop laboratory. I'm gonna go with the workshop. I might not even go in there yet. Hallway, kitchen, hallway. 2 keys, 5 gems. So this would be the start of this path. From here, where do I want to go? Get out of here. Up, left, left, up, up. So where am I right now? Here. So I want to go here. But I need to go up from here. So the security would let me do that. Up. I would need to go left from here. Which I could do with the drawing room. Which I still don't know how to solve. So I need to go straight. And then from here I have to go up. Study. I know the study actually has... Isn't the study supposed to have a thingy? Have I drafted the study before? I don't know if I have. Maybe I have. It does have it just has a regular save. Okay, that's right. I have drafted this once before. It's possible to try to commission new artwork for all the new rooms. Fair enrichment. Oh, gem. There's the queen on D8. What does that mean? "44 letters, face and ace." Already did that, but then there's this. All right, the study. So, what have we got here? I've got the password that said it's the office, but that was a lie. So maybe it's not the office, maybe it's the study. 9083. Maybe I've tried that before. Maybe it's the same password as the other one. 1225? No. Okay. Got a list of important dates. So we've got 0822. No. No. 1111? No. 1117? No. 0222? No. 0902. No. 0112. No. Wrong on all counts. We got a queen on D8. Also, what does that mean for the treasure chest? Or not the treasure chest, the little treasure map I got. I did make the path from there to there. Right? Was that the right path? Oh no, I needed to go up one more. Oh, fuck. There's a queen here. Do I have a picture of the other? I did get another treasure thing at one point. Did I write it down? E3, E4, D4, D5, D6. So that'd be E3, E4, D4, D5, D6. I can't do that one either. Shit. That sucks. Parlor. The black box is false. A false box contains the gems. The black box is true. Alright, well, if this is true, this is false. So a true box has to contain the gem. If this is true, this is false. Which makes this false. Makes this true, so the gems could be in here. If this is true, this becomes true, and this becomes false. Which means this is true. A false box contains the gems. The black box is true. And this would also be where they are. So either interpretation, they wind up here. I want to go back down to the earlier rooms first to see if I can find more keys. This might be one where I just try and go to room 46 then. Otherwise, I don't really have much else I can work on. So I think because of the nature of this game and where I'm at in this game, this might be something where I stop with it for a little bit. I might play it on my own, but I'm at the point where I'm like, it's basically just keep doing runs and trying to find clues and stuff. And I'm just not, I don't think it really is as exciting. Sorry, I'm thinking. I don't think it's really as exciting, like, on stream when it's like, it's really going to be one of those things, I think, where I'll spend, like, hours playing it before I even discover one new thing now. By design, I mean, like, that's kind of the thrill of it, is now we're hitting these puzzles that are, like, a lot more involved, I think. But I think it's just something that, like, is a little more difficult to do on stream, I guess. And also just there's other stuff I want to do, too. So I might be doing something different on Friday. I don't know. Unless I come to some, like, major discovery. That. Oh, wait, did I want to go back and, get more keys? I might, yeah. I kind of was thinking about that, but then I went and did this while I was here. Oh, there's the showroom. Don't get that very often. Do have new books. I'm going to do the showroom. I don't think I've got money for it, but I'll do it. Emerald bracelet. You do not have to pay the gem costs of floor plans. Opens all normal doors. Can rewind after drawing new floor plans. Gain twice as many steps from eating. Well, this just connects back nicely. Take the den for the gem. I should make the boiler room more common. Don't know if I have enough for a shovel. I do. Okay, I'm going to take that. Since I also have the kennel. Just got to remember to dig first. Want the laboratory? Sure. Each bedroom you draft, each time you unlock or bypass a door. Gain 1 key for every set your help steps before you spread dirt on the driveway. 2 or more gems drafting room. Each time you unlock or bypass a door. Gain 1 key. That's infinite keys. But infinite steps might be better. I did have to go backwards, but that used a lot of steps. I'm going to do the keys. You've got mail. I did security? I didn't realize I did security. The only one I don't have is the office. I wonder if you get anything for getting them all. I think I said that once already. Oh yeah, I do have security. What do you know? Microscope. Courtyard's actually pretty cool here. Oh, metal detector. No dig spots? Wow. Well, that kind of worked out really well. Open this first. I'm gonna need the steps. I have to go back all the way anyway. Oh, nice. Replaced it. This could be a full house run. What's my easiest way back? Going straight from the entrance hall. There's a bunch of dig spots in the kennel, though. Puppy. Turn up. Coins. Turn up. Turn up. Coin. Which way do I want to go? Let's go to the right. I mean, I could try these dates. Yeah, why not? 0822. No. 0127. No. Oops. 1111. No. 1117. No. 0222. No. 902. No. 0112. No. Gems, keys, apples. Damn. Fair enrichment. Is that a clock down there? Ooh, foyer. That's not the one that has the... No, it's the Grand Hall that has the other one. Oh, that isn't a dead end, though, and I've got enough things, don't I? Lord William. Baron Thomas. There it is. But that's what I needed this. Hold on. This is related to that other thing. Right down here, I guess. Foyer statues. We had what? Lord? Lord William. Baron Thomas. Major Nicholas. God, these are very different names. It just feels like we went from English to Russian. To French. Ariana. I don't think that's actually French, but... I mean, je could be, I suppose, but... Baron Edwin. And... Count Isaac Gates. So two of these things do stick out. One of them's name is just Key, and one of them's name is Gates. Count. I suppose it could be like count Gates, like count the number of gates. Major Key 4. But our books were... Hold on. This was way back. I wrote these down. It was literally one of the first things I saw, because somehow I got there really quickly and then never got there again. Flight of the Queen, March of the Count, Fall of the Lord, Passing of the Barons, Herrings or Hearings of the Major. Presumably she would be queen, but I can't interact with it at all. Queen, Count, Lord, Barons, Major. Does that spell something out? Count, so that'd be a line. Lord, Barons, Major. It spells out. That is an R. If you go from here to here to here to here and then down, it does spell out the letter R. Of the way they're laid out. I want to write this down a little more. Hold on. I want to take just a little more. This. It's count. It's facing this direction. This is not north, is it? No, this is facing south. But like... if I were to rate them down, like... let's see. Shit, my pen died. There we go. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes here. Here, 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 there. I can just label them like this. 1. Sorry, who was number 2? Queen, Baron, it's Baron Edwin. It's Count Gates. And then Lord William, Baron Thomas, Major Nicholas. Okay, so that's an R. I guess I can keep going from here. Another locksmith. I haven't seen the locksmith yet, so let's just do this. Three keys. Special key. I need that special key. Key to the secret garden. That is what I was hoping for. Oh, those picture puzzles. Fortunately, we only have the parlor as a path now. Thankfully, I do have gems that I can redraft the study with. If I have the secret garden key, I might just run straight for to room 46. Can I use the secret garden key here? I can, but does it go forward? I think it does. Yes. Cool. Secret garden's still the easiest way to get there. Oh, there's a lever. Oh, was that what it was? Oh, and if anything's locked. Oh, there's 3 more coins. This run's been good. What is this? If I get the greenhouse. It would be funny if it lets you draft rank room 46. Oh, there is one. Okay. Is there more? No. Pantry. It does continue. Or dig spot? This is tempting. Would let me make a shot at full house. But I think I'd rather just do this. Select a new foreground to permanently add. It's just I would be really low on gems, which is scary, because that's what I'm relying on to re-roll if I need to. I think it's still the way to go. More money? Very detailed paper model of a safe. Why is that significant? Anything I can do with this? Like, is it so detailed that I can, like, figure out what the code is from it? If I had the, maybe the magnifying glass? Oh, more. Whenever you draw Dovecote while drafting, you may rotate floor plans. Tomorrow you will start with 1 key for each tomorrow room you draft today. When you enter the vestibule, 3 of the doors will unlock and the 4th becomes locked. This seems good. Oops. This one doesn't cost anything. This one costs 1. This one costs 2. Added the vestibule. Right, spare room. It does get us there. Potentially. At the very least, we'll be able to see. Oops. Be able to see if something happens. We get 1 reroll. We're not going to need it. All right, then. I can go inside. Interesting. What are you now? What are you? The sanctum key. What is this? Yes, I am writing this down. Sanctum key. The first key found here on the furthest rank. The second locked tight in the vault of a bank. The third is up high up among all the clocks, and the 4th down below beneath all the docks. The 5th key is held by a king on his throne. The 6th in a station left by one of your own. The 7th is major if you drafted quite late, and the last key is waiting behind the last door of 8. Eight realms in 8 months. 5, 6, 7. There's the clocks again. These ones are stopped. Jones. Oh, that's me. Sinclair. Epson. They all stopped? No, that one's moving. The crown of the blueprint. The former crown, ruby crown of Erindia Ares, recently set with freshly cut sapphires. The first time you draw a red room while drafting, you may remove it from today's draft pool. If you do, gain 1 gem and redraw floor plans. First try to draw, you may remove it. Do I only get that today, or is that permanent? That might be permanent. No, it looks like it's only today. Same with the Sanctum key, probably. Unlocks 1 of 8 doors. I meant to take a picture of this. First key found here on the furthest rank. The second locked tight in the vault of a bank. The third is high up among all the clocks. Fourth down below beneath all the docks. The key is held by a king on his throne. The sixth in a station left by one of your own. Seventh is major if you draft it quite late. So probably the music room and the last key waiting behind the last door of 8. And then there's this. 8 realms in 8 months. What does that mean? We've still got 27 steps, and we've got the basement key. Now I might just go straight for the Sanctum at this point. I just have to keep looking to see where I am. I feel like I'm not in the elevator enough. I'm glad I didn't wander around too much upstairs, because I was like, you know, should I go straight forward or should I explore a little bit? But actually, 15 steps is not that many. Does it matter which one I choose? Are they specific? They said one of the keys is actually behind one of these doors. So what if it really is just pure chance and it's possible to get all of them and not get one of the keys because you didn't unlock the right one? That'd be really funny. Which one do we want to pick? This one seems... I don't know. This one seems good. This key will permanently open one door in the inner sanctum. Do you wish to use it on this door? Yes. What is this music? Oh my god. Oh, it's the sigils. Should I try recreating that other sigil? Yeah, this one. Alright, so we need the... that one. That's the fog, right? Yeah. Is that it? No, we're looking for the lightning bolts. There is one more. Oh, I see. There's a number, there's a specific number of them. Like, we need that. It just happened. Oh, shoot, I overshot it. Need that one. Which one do we need? Okay, so it's eight symbols like that. But we need that. I got it. Oh no, I don't know what the core is, right? Is that what the problem is? Oh no, maybe what the problem is I'm trying to... Yeah, that's not the core. I need to find that coat of arms. The fan coat of arms. We actually don't know what the... I don't know if we can, I don't know if we've seen that around yet. I can take a look around until my steps run out. Actually, no, it was my old phone that had that picture. Sorry, I'm going through photos. Yeah, unfortunately I got a new phone and I didn't have the chance to back up anything. Yeah, no, that doesn't help, unfortunately, but I do know where. I do know where I can find this stuff, and I think those are the classrooms. If I can draft the classrooms, I can draft my way out of this. Another run, but we've got an objective at least. Again, like I said, I don't know. This might be something I have to, like... I don't know, because it's so involved. I feel like I could be playing this forever. Which, I mean, I'm not upset about. I certainly like it. I certainly like that there's more. It's just stream-wise, I don't exactly know how to handle it. I do want to see if there's anything else in here. There's the Queen. Her ladyship's diary is locked. Gain an additional effect with each constellation observed in the observatory. How do I open this? Or is that what I'm going to need to grab in the sanctum? That's the symbol of... Oh, we don't know. That's one of the cores. Although actually, no, we do know. That's the symbol of... Araja, the southern province. under her pillow. Under her hat. But we did gain more steps because we entered the boudoir. So from the passageway, I can keep going. It's the only place I can keep going. I can keep going. Let's grab the gold sink. Oh, right, I can remove stuff. Let's grab the gift shop. See if I can buy anything. I can get a Mount Holly tea. It just looks nice. Cursed coffers. That's new. A permanent addition to the shrine. None would dare... Oh! I wonder if that reduces your steps down to like 12, but gives you like 100 other things or something. I don't have enough for that. Get the t-shirt. It just looks nice. Going to redraw. Enough for that. There's the boiler room. I was hoping for the walk-in closet because I wanted to see what the t-shirt would do. Just looks nice. Alright, let's use the last of our steps. Wee, beam me up, God. Alright, wow, we've almost been going 4 hours, but that actually was a discovery. Holy crap. Impressive shopping center. Thank you. I appreciate it. I thought so too. 100 steps taken. Reach rank 10. Which is the antechamber, or the room 46. I wonder if that shows up on the map as something when you do it. I like that we got a nice little hole in the middle. Runs now are so long that it's like it takes me all stream and I get like 3 runs done. But I know there's some people who've been playing like up to like, they're like on runs like 110 or whatever, which is wild. Day 41. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. If you're hanging out, if you're still here, or if you're lurking or whatever, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day or night or whatever it is. That's not the right button. Oops. There we go. Feel free to follow me wherever I have socials. They're on screen. Feel free to follow. I never actually like say that, but you can follow me if you want, if you feel so inclined. I've actually been posting clips and stuff on YouTube, so that's been fun. And I have a teaser out for something on YouTube, which there will be a full trailer for someday when I make it. And because it's going to be happening sometime within the next month, so I probably should. And I like building hype for stuff. So, yeah. Have a good night. I'll be back on Friday. I'm going to go grab a snack. And gain 3 steps per snack. As is tradition.